a rivalry that has featured brawls, costing each other national title bids, has led to some of the craziest social media posts I've seen this week. This is the Backyard Brawl, and it has it all. It was a rivalry we lost for over a decade because of college football realignment, but is back and better than ever. There have been so many special games in the series, and I cannot wait to see what this year's matchup has in store for us. This is the story of the Backyard Brawl. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college ball content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know what your favorite rivalry is in the comment section below. The Backyard Brawl is played between Pittsburgh and West Virginia, with the two schools being separated by less than 75 miles. This is the 14th oldest rivalry in the United States and dates back to 1895, taking place in Morgantown on October 26th. The Mountaineers would win the game 8-0 and would shut Pitt out in the 1898 matchup as well. Pitt would finally get their first win in the series in 1901 when they beat West Virginia 12-0. The first 4 games of the series would take place in West Virginia before moving to Exposition Park in 1902. Following back-to-back wins by West Virginia in 1902 and 1903, Pitt would win 10 of the next 11 matchups, with there being one tie in 1909, and 29 of the next 33 matchups, taking the series lead with a record of 34-9-1 come 1951. The Panthers and Mountaineers faced off every year from 1920 to 1939, and then after the Second World War, they played every year from 1943 to 2011, 69 straight seasons, with a home and away alternate format from 1962 to 2011. For the alternate format, games were usually held in Pittsburgh, with the Panthers hosting 11 straight from 1919 until 1929. The 1921 edition of the Backyard Brawl was the first college football game broadcasted on the radio, when Harold W. Arlen announced the 21-13 Pittsburgh victory on KDKA. This was a historic event for college football, and was the early first steps to get to where we are today with the access college football has at the tip of our fingers. At one point, starting in 1904, West Virginia and Pitt played for the District Big Three Championship along with Penn State, as the three were considered the Tri-State District Big Three. This became an annual round robin, and in 1951, the old Ironside Trophy was introduced, awarded to the champion of the three, and the trio played annually until West Virginia won its second outright title in 1984, and Penn State was unable to locate the trophy. With the loss of the trophy and deregionalization of college football, the three-team rivalry increasingly became 3 district head-to-head matchups with little to no connection. In 2004, the Backyard Brawl became Pitt's most played rivalry during the 97th edition of the game, surpassing their 96 matchups with Penn State. There have been many great games during the rivalry's history. In 1955, West Virginia was 7-0 and ranked number 6 in the country, going to the Brawl before losing to Pitt, ruining the Mountaineer Sugar Bowl bid. The Panthers were selected instead. 1961 was known as the Garbage Game after one Pitt player said West Virginia was rebuilding with Western Pennsylvania garbage. West Virginia would win the game. In 1970, Pitt would come back from a 35-8 halftime deficit to win 36-35, and after the game, Mountaineer fans were banging on the West Virginia locker room and calling for head coach Bobby Bowden's head. In 1975, walk-on kicker Bill McKenzie hit a game-winning field goal to upset number 20 Pitt, while in 1976, Tony Dorsett would set off an actual brawl and told ESPN, as the game went on, there were guys, they'd tackle me and then they'd be in the pileup punching me, or in the particular situation was when they tackled me and the one defender as I was getting up, he pushed my head into the turf. I lost it at that point. Dorsett would lead Pitt to their 9th national title and won the Heisman Trophy that year. But no game was bigger than the 2007 game, when West Virginia entered as the number 2 team in the BCS poll and as 28.5-point favorites. The week before, the 10-1 Mountaineers put up 66 points and 624 yards against number 20 UConn. The game would go Pitt's way and would be a disaster for West Virginia. 5 West Virginia turnovers, a thumb injury to Mountaineers quarterback Pat White, and 2 missed kicks by West Virginia's Pat McAfee. Pitt won 13-9, costing West Virginia the national title, as the Panthers finished 5-7. It would also cost West Virginia their homegrown head coach, as Rich Rodriguez would take the Michigan head coaching job, and Terrell Pryor would choose Ohio State over West Virginia without Rodriguez. The Backyard Brawl would be played every year until 2011. Following the 2011 season, West Virginia left for the Big 12, and Pitt would leave the Big East for the ACC following 2012. West Virginia would win the final late season matchup 21-20, with the game usually being played on Black Friday historically. Conference realignment would end the yearly matchup, with Pitt leading the series 61-40-3, while since 1970 West Virginia was 21-19-2. It wasn't the first time the rivalry almost ended though. In the 1940s, the series stopped for 3 years because West Virginia, in dire financial straits, owed Pitt $20,000 for guaranteed games played in Morgantown the previous decade. The issue would be resolved, but this time around, it was not as simple. It would be 11 years until the game returned in 2022. West Virginia had tried to join the ACC, but they would be denied. Former athletic director Oliver Luck explained, "The ACC denied us. The SEC was a maybe, but it depended on Missouri's decision. We may have had an opportunity to join the SEC if Missouri would not have gone." Missouri's move in 2012 opened up a slot for the Mountaineers in the Big 12 and disrupted the Brawl's annual date. In one of its first acts as athletic director in 2015, Shane Lyons opened communication back up with Pitt to restart the series. Along with Pitt, West Virginia would also bring back rivalry games with Penn State, Virginia Tech, and Maryland. The Backyard Brawl returned in 2022, with Pitt winning 38-31, while in 2023, West Virginia would win 17-6. Last year, Pitt would win 38-34, and since the 1970s, the rivalry is nearly dead even. But why is there so much hatred and disdain involved in this rivalry, and why does it matter so much? West Virginia's Director of Athletic Content, John Antoniuk, told ESPN back in 2022, "The thing is, we're all basically the same people. The people in West Virginia are coal miners, and a lot of people that supported Pitt are steelworkers. So you've got the mills and the mines. So from that respect, it's similar, but culturally, Pitt is an urban campus. West Virginia is a rural campus. Even though we're only 75 miles apart, you know the way it's portrayed to me from the people in Pittsburgh? The Pitt people always viewed Penn State as the game they wanted to win most. West Virginia was the game they didn't want to lose. There's a big difference there." While former Pitt Sports Information Director Sam Skilo explained, "Pitt fans look at West Virginia as more of the nuance or an annoyance, like a little gnat flying around your ear when you're in bed in the summer." Former West Virginia quarterback felt that Pitt just felt like they were better than them. The fans get rowdy during the game, especially when it's played in Morgantown, as former Pitt coach Jackie Sherrill told ESPN, "They may be beating on the bus, they may be rocking the bus, or they may be throwing stuff at the bus." While former Pitt running back Tony Dorsett said, "Former head coach Johnny Majors used to tell us to keep our hats on because some projectiles are going to come down. Didn't know what it was going to happen." Quarterback Pat Bostic led Pitt to their major upset win over West Virginia in the aforementioned 2007 game. He had a crazy experience riding into the game. Bostic recalled, "We did not get nickels and quarters and dimes thrown at our heads, but we did have full beer cans thrown at our buses. We did have men, women, children flipping us the bird saying, 'Eat shit, Pitt.' All those things were real." During the 1994 game, Pitt public announcer Don Ireland made several announcements making fun of West Virginia. In one, Ireland said there was a tractor on the parking lot with the lights on with West Virginia license plates that read EIEIO. He also said the stadium's smoking ban included corncob pipes. That did not go over very well, as it created a major firestorm, as Pitt athletic director Oval Janes apologized to West Virginia officials for the announcement made by Ireland, who briefly resigned in the aftermath but was reinstated. The rivalry is so crazy because it even makes priests act out of character. In 1977, the priest the school brought in to lead the prayer would shock everybody. Cheryl explained, "So he called everybody up and they said the Lord's Prayer and gave us a blessing. And the nickname of West Virginia at the time was the Snakes. That's what the Pitt people called West Virginia. And shortly after he gave the blessing, he said, 'Okay, ladies, now's the time to go out and kick the shit out of the Snakes.' The players looked at each other. They couldn't believe that he said it. Due to the proximity of the school, they recruit similar players, which adds chips to shoulders of wanting to perform well in the rivalry. Mark Bulger played high school football at Central Catholic High School, which was about a mile away from Pitt's campus. Bulger was told by Pitt assistants that he wouldn't play Division II football, let alone Division I. Bulger would go on to throw 6 touchdowns against Pitt in 1998 and recalled, "I'm just mad he pulled me in the third quarter. We're playing in Three Rivers Stadium in 98. I had 6 touchdowns. I wanted to get like 8 or 9, and after the third quarter, he pulled me. I go, I want to stay in. There's no way someone else is going to throw 9 or 10 touchdowns in a game, even nowadays. But he didn't want me to get hurt because it was always the day after Thanksgiving and the bowl was coming up." but I'd love to have thrown 10 touchdowns on Pitt. That would have been so great, because I knew the coaches were still there that told me I wasn't good enough. Heading to this year's game, there's a lot on the line as the two teams will not play again until 2029. This year's game will take place in Morgantown, and Pitt quarterback Eli Holstein is ready for the chaos, telling Sports Illustrated, "It's a hectic environment. It's going to be a lot of fun. They said it's crazy. There's going to be little kids flipping me off. I'm going to get batteries and beers thrown at me on the sidelines, all types of stuff like that. But I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to feeding off that energy. I think our team has the mindset to feed off that energy, feed off the hate and the pure venom and poison from them. Really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to do it. Both fan bases and teams are ready to go for this year's game, as I have seen some wild posts on social media so far this week. Pitt enters the game as 7.5 point favorites, but if I were a betting man, I would expect this to be a field goal game at the end. What do you think? How special is the Backyard Brawl? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.